The meeting is called to order, and I'll call on Shannon Jepson to give us our budget presentation.
I have a PowerPoint. As soon as we can get to it, I will start.
Okay, no. I don't know how to hear her. It's not a web-based thing. I don't think we can share it.
Okay, how about, can she just share it on the screen? Can we mirror it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Will the Zoom,
Then the Zoom.
okay, but can they still hear?
Mm-hmm.
If you stayed in there one drive, if you stayed in there one drive, that would be.
Yes.
So Zoom guests, you may not be able to see what,
No, I think
They
they
should.
should.
oh, we're, here, so now we're, okay, we're
There we
good.
go.
All right, thank you.
They're trying to do it like that, or you want to do it. Yeah, almost like we did. All right. So I'll come back here so I don't stand in front of anybody. Nope. Well, I just have to go through it. So, like Sonia said, this is the 2024 budget and tax levy public hearing. And can you go to the next screen right away, George, please? And this, the tax budget has to be, it's per century code. I don't know that you want me to read it, but it's 57-15-02.2 and 57-15-13. Next screen. So the 2023-2024 general fund budget, our estimated revenues are $6.9411208 million. Whoops. Our expenditures are estimated to be $7,401,379 which gives us a deficit balance of $460,000, $171. Nope. Oh, can we go back one more?
Yep.
The estimated fund balance. So the fund balance is not necessarily what we have cash in the bank, but what we have pulling forward year after year. Our 22-23 ending fund balance was the $1.19 million. Inside that number, it's a little deceiving this year because inside that number, we had our ESSER dollars or COVID money that the government gave us. And we were able to carry that over, but we have to use that this year. So you'll see the estimated revenues is 6.9 million and the expenditures is 7.414 million. So that drops our carryover balance of $736,000. Industry recommends we have between 10 to 15% of your prior year's expenditures. So our $1.19 million is actually a good number from the prior year expenditures. But our estimated fund balance of $736 is between 9 and 10%. So that's pretty low considering, you know, one construction project could wipe that out. Hey, Jordan, thank you. So this is a list of the revenues that we have. The local sources are the real estate taxes that we levy on. Tuition, like driver's ed tuition. The interest, we have 3 bank accounts and 3 different banks in Oaks. The interest that we gather from those bank accounts. And then the other is donations or miscellaneous items coming in. The state sources, of course, the largest is our per pupil foundation payment. We also get a transportation payment from the state and other restricted state revenue. And a lot of that is probably in the form of grants. We've got a bus grant, some other things. The federal sources are title programs, Title I and Title II, Title IV. And then the other federal revenue, that's what I call REAP, or it's a federal program for small rural schools. The expenditures, our largest expenditures is what I have under the undistributed programs, the improvement of instruction, support services. That's meaning custodians, bus drivers, administrative secretaries, paras, substitute teachers. We have a technology, the school board, superintendent, business manager, the operation of the plant, and transportation, meaning the buses, the fuel, the bus drivers. The special education program, our federal programs, which is our costs associated with title, teachers, paras, and supplies. Vocational assessments, that's our fees out to the out at the center, and then our activities department. All the sports, all the other activities that do not happen between the 8:30 to 3:30 time period. What I just spoke about was the general fund. This is the special reserve fund. So in government accounting, we have special funds, and they all have to, all those ones were in the general fund. This is the special reserve fund. It had a balance of $89,422. We are planning, or right now, the budget shows a 3 mil levy, which is the most we can levy in the special fund or the special reserve. So that will bring in approximately $67,253 for a subtotal of $156,000. The deal with the special reserve is you can take out of it one time a year, and it can only be 1/2 of the balance. So it's $156,000. We can only take out $78,337. And that has to be transferred to the general fund. So if that's what we do at $89,000 beginning balance, the income coming out, we can take out $78,000. The remaining balance as of June 30th, 2024 will be $78,338. Then there's another fund called the miscellaneous fund. Oaks has never levied, as far as we can see, as far as back as our records go, this has never been levied. It can be anywhere between 1 to 12 mils. Or, so let me pause for a second. A mill in Dickey County or Oaks Public School is around $23,000. So it changes depending on the taxable valuation of the land within our school district. So right now, a mill is approximately $23,000. So if we levy the 12 mills, it will be approximately $269,012. We have the estimated expenses. What are those? We have a bus on order for 124. We are in the process of getting an estimate on tuck pointing the school walls of the high school. I don't know if we've gotten an estimate back on that yet. We are, our van needs to be replaced, or should be replaced within the next few years. We have the east entrance. There's an overhang that keeps getting ice jammed, and when it melts, it drips, and it's a hazard because we'll have to shut it down. That's about an $8,000 to $10,000 fix. So all those items take up our miscellaneous fund. The building fund, again, this is another fund. The building fund, we can levy up to 20 mills. Because we had a vote, I don't remember the year, 1980. It was voted to allow Oaks Public Schools to mill up to 20, and it won't let us mill any higher. Century Code won't let us mill any higher than 20 mills, or $23,000 per mill. So the beginning balance on June 30th of 2022, it was negative, gosh, I want to say $207,000. It started out June 30th of, or July 1st of 2023 at $35,000. Right now, the budget shows to levy a full 20 mills at $448,000. This is where those ESSER 3 monies, that's the COVID money. And that is what we are going to finish using. That's approximately what we had left as of July 1 to pay off the science floor project. And then the transfers of general fund monies. That is, so geek along in the accounting world with me. I said the special fund, you can only transfer half of it. That was $78,000. That has to go to the general fund. But the general fund can then put it to the building fund. And that was kind of the purpose. So it's coming from the general fund at $78,000. We are still expecting another track donation of $10,000. And we have estimated expenses of $766,382, leaving us with an estimated fund balance of $214,740.
And the estimated expenses, that includes the bond interest.
That includes the bond payment. We have 2 more payments left. It includes the bond payment, principal and interest of the next, of that fiscal year's payment. Yes. Here's just a 2-year history. So last year, 22-23, our general fund levied 68.05 mills. We had no miscellaneous mills, the 3 special reserve, and 20 building, which came to 21.05. This year, it's proposed to levy the full 70 mills, the full 12 miscellaneous, 3 reserved, and the 20 building, for a total of 105. And then you can see below the general fund. The monies that we had levied, this is what we'll bring in. So it was just over $2 million in 22-23. We're estimating that it would be about $2.4 million in 23-24. That's it. Questions?
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? And then the next item is for public input. So I ask for questions first. And then if anyone has input to share, we'll go on to that.
That 20 mils for the building fund. What is that average the last 5 years? Roughly.
Um,
Can't get into my computer now.
oh,
Yep, it's on the tax worksheet. Do you have that one? I got it as soon as I get logged in. Oh, yes. All right, so the last 5 years of the building fund. We don't. Here's-
they're way off.
Yep.
Small.
$454,431.92 would have been 22-23.
I just want to know the mills.
Oh, the mills, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Last year we had the full 20 mills.
Okay.
The year before we had 18.55. 16.77. I'm sorry, 16.78, 17.1, and 17.21.
Well, it hasn't been
So-
maxed out the last 5 years. It's moved around a little bit.
Last year was the first year we maxed it out. Well, it's not the first year, but the first year in 9 years.
Other questions? Any other questions?
Brandon Carlson,
Thank you.
a county mill is $46,000 some odd cents. Why is a school mill only 23,000?
Because our taxable valuation is
23 million and a millage 1,000.
But why is the school half of what the county is?
Well, the county probably has the entire county.
School is just.
Ours is just the Oaks Public School District's land.
Okay.
So part of the county's land goes to Ellendale, probably Lemoore.
we have some insertions.
Right. Yep. We pull from 4 different counties.
Other questions?
One other expenditure, I see your SBSEU has completely went crazy.
Okay. So geek out with me on accounting.
Yep,
So the state gives us a per pupil aid.
okay,
Okay, off the top of that, they take out immediately $411,000 and pay it directly to Cheyenne Valley Special Education.
Yep.
In the past, it had been, the number had been taken from, if you go up into the revenue, under per pupil aid, it
Yep.
would have been adjusted in that number. I didn't like that. I want my per pupil aid to match my per pupil aid. So in order to do that, I had to put the expense of the Cheyenne Valley down with the expenses. Because I don't think that that was an actual expense number in prior history, because that actually was just our overage of Cheyenne Valley. So for those years, it's always been that high. It was just taken out of the income before it on the top, in the top part. Does that make sense?
yep,
So that is a true number of what we pay to Cheyenne Valley every year.
okay.
Thank you. Good questions. Any other questions? Any other questions? If not, we'll allow some time for public input, which would be a comment. I would ask if you have a comment, please identify yourself. State your comments, keep it brief, and if someone else has already said it, don't say it again, just stand up and say, I agree with what somebody else said. Is there any public input?
Have public input,
Thank
Kevin
you.
Carlson. I have a property that is going up 29% just in the school. 29.11% going up in the school portion of that. And there's also a comment that that is after a state reduction, which I don't know what the state reduction is. But what is that? What happens to that if we don't have a state reduction on a 29.1% increase?
I have a question for you, Kevin, with regard to that. How much did the value of the property increase?
11.99, so the property increased 12% of that.
Okay, so a portion of that increase to the proposed taxes for the school is because of the valuation increase. And another portion is due to our proposed tax.
Okay, so then that difference would be 17%, basically.
Yes, I think that makes sense. I think that if the properties that I looked at that did not have a change in valuation had about a 15–16% increase on the school tax. Thank you. Any other public input?
Scott Mugley.
Scott?
We own property in the Ellendale School District, the Lemoore and Oaks. In this year, I took 3 of them that have the equal amount of increase, 3.56 for the valuation. Ellendale is only going up 1.5% increase. Lemoore is going up 7.9. You guys are going up 19.6. I mean, I don't know why are we so much different than our schools in our area. And then I look at where this is going to come from for me to pay this. Soybeans are going down 15% from last spring. Corn's going 36.5%. Where I just see such an increase in you guys compared to other surrounding schools.
Thank you. Any other public input? Anyone else have input? Last call. Any other input? If none, thank you very much, everyone, for being here this morning for our tax levy hearing. We appreciate your engagement in the process, and we know that your tax dollars are important to you, and we'll continue to do the best we can to steward your dollars the best that we can for the kids in our district. If there's nothing else, I'll declare the tax levy hearing closed at 7:27 a.m. We'll take about a 3-minute recess before we start our board meeting.